The Crooked Epic, 1, In, 1, The Inn of Maniacal Madness, 5, Alex, The Maze, 5C, 3. There were no sounds to alarm Alex, only the soft padding of the cat's climb of the stairs behind him. She ran out from behind again, and Alex began to move into the area in the church beyond the apse and altar wall. He heard other footsteps louder approaching him. He stepped back and closed the door slightly in front of him and waited. There was a masculine voice, speaking fluent Spanish and cooing, clicking his tongue, and Alex realized it was someone with the cat. The footsteps continued, and a man with a black soutane and a Roman collar walked into the room, holding the white cat against his chest, petting her. He did not mark any resemblance to Draken, but he was suspicious-seeming, so Alex refused to step into the open. He was taller than average, over 6 feet, and 150 pounds bigger, dimensionally, than young Alex, who was just over 5.5 feet. He was broader, with wide, solid shoulders and a belly over his chubby thighs. His hair was curly and black, yet his skin tone was much darker than Draken's, and he had a short beard below a round nose and big brown eyes. More footsteps approached, and the young man entered, holding a rifle. The young man was clean-shaven with shorter hair like the other soldiers, yet he was more brunette-colored with bluer eyes. Most of the other soldiers had gray or green eyes and were blonder and larger. The priest turned to face the young man, who was not in military garb, and set the cat down, petting her once more as she ran in the opposite direction of the man with the rifle. At that precise moment, Alex sensed his vulnerability, closed the door to only a few inches, and took slow steps back down the staircase. He was unseen by the two men in the church and needed to hold his composure to remain uncaptured. The conversational tone between the two men caused enough noise for them not to hear his retreat, and Alex was able to understand some of it as the young man spoke plain English with the older priest. Father Toro, broadcast on the radio, the reinforcements are scheduled for a 10 a.m. debriefing outside the church. Is there anything else we need to do in here before they all arrive? The young man addressed the priest in a manner that indicated he served as a personal apprentice. He lowered his tone and retained his cadence and patience. Toro purveyed a style of arrogance and filthiness. He was ultimately reprehensible for his conduct abroad in the centers of the land of Hob and beyond. He was a snarling demon for comparison with the young soldier. He had a paper-thin mustache and was also carrying a cane which he balanced against his gut while petting the soft white cat. "Oh, now, how all human life is there, James." Toro's deep baritone replied in homage, wittily. His footsteps approached the basement door above Alex, whose lowering steps continued attentively. "Earlier this morning, Mr. Edmund, I was letting her out in the marabout. She usually likes to play along the pastures. Such a wise animal, always knowing her way through the maze without need for any guide." Even while the footsteps slowed, Alex did not dare to look behind him, but moved swiftly back to the landing. "My thoughts, if she has returned, there is a definite probability of her having had contact with someone. The portal doors are always kept closed. Shall we check, my good Mr. Edmund?" Now Alex knew the people upstairs were coming to see if he was in the basement. He also realized from what he had overheard that reinforcements would be following, too soon to try to overtaking the two men alone. He looked up the stairs and slid into the bedroom on the right where he had come from. Two shadows were cast down the stairway and their necks stretched across the last step to the landing. Alex closed the door again to only a few inches and backed up through the room until he knocked the edge of the bunk beds. He listened to Mr. Edmund's voice in its whispers, unable to make out any distinct words, and then heard another pair of shoes walking down the steps. Alex pushed off the bunk bed, rushing to the next room, tiptoeing but sweating from the pressure of his elusive acrobatics. The static air around his ears buzzed. His fright was racking his brain and burning his eyes with strain. The door he had come through, accidentally re-entering the church basement, was open. Again, Alex was warped through a black void, and when he arrived in the maze garden, he felt queasiness and was becoming unexplainably short of breath. He was not confident about how this machine worked, So he closed the box's door and stared uncertainly at it, trying to concentrate on what he should do next. He still had a backpack of food and water, and remembering the water made him want to sit and rest. The maze would only provide a short amount of time for Alex to attempt evasive tactics from the organized troops assembling behind the mysterious portal.